Hey there, I'm Dr. Ruth Roberts, your pet's ally, and Hayo is here to help me today. Uh, and what I wanted to do is talk with you a little bit about medicinal mushrooms and how they work and what you should do because it's like CBD. There's hundreds of products out there, some of which are good, some of them are not. So I'm going to do my best to give you the science part of how these things work. So I've got some slides here together, so let's take a look at those. So, again, the goal is for you to understand how to use medicinal mushrooms for your pet. And these are a supplement or a food that are considered to be GRAS, generally recognized as safe, meaning, it's really almost impossible to create any health issues for your pets in using them. So, how do these guys work? How do the medicinal mushrooms work? And they are such a huge thing, as I said. So, as we're searching for ways to prevent and treat chronic disease, we are led back to plants, to what nature produced. And so we're trying to use that idea that the whole plant has everything in it that helps to sustain the body and to create health, so to speak. And we, in some cases, an extract of the plant can be more helpful, and in some cases, the entire plant is the best way to go. So we want to look at several different mushrooms so that we understand what's going on. But first of all, let's take a look at how these guys work, as I said. So the main thing that creates their medicinal effect is something called a beta-glucan. And medicinal mushrooms contain different glucans, and in particular, the 1,3-1,6 beta-glucan, that sounds pretty technical, right? These are a type of polysaccharide, and this specific one seems to be the most active. Beta-glucans are found in all sorts of foods. So they are polysaccharides, which are literally multiple sugars, and they are the most abundant carbohydrate found in food. And they're essentially long chains of monosaccharides or single sugars kind of held together by links. And then these links can be broken down by enzymes and sometimes water, as in the case of starches. So it takes amylase, that digestive enzyme, plus water to break down the starch in, say, a potato. So again, beta-glucans are found in many types of food, including oats, barley, yeast, and of course mushrooms. And they are soluble fibers and help control blood sugar by preventing it from being absorbed rapidly from the intestines. In the case of beta-glucans, in terms of medicine, more familiar may be drugs like Lipitor that are derived from red yeast to reduce cholesterol. So, beta-glucans can also have a very protective effect on healthy cells by preventing damage from free radicals and directly protecting from possible carcinogens. And they've been shown to prevent new blood vessel growth of the tumor, and that helps to slow the tumor growth and spread. And that's great, but why mushrooms? Why not just a bunch of Cheerios since oats are high in beta glucans? Well, it turns out there are both alpha glucans and beta glucans. Alpha glucans have no medical effect. And then, interestingly, how the mushrooms are grown can have a huge impact on the amount of the beta glucans produced within the mushroom. So, for instance, mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms in particular, grown on sorghum, actually 95% of the total glucans are the beta glucans, which are the medical components we're looking for. So, as I said, this highly technical 1,3-1,6 branch type of glucans have been shown to be the most effective in producing nitrous oxide in macrophages, and cell receptors are designed to actually receive this specific molecule to stimulate immune activity through the complement system, which is kind of the general immune system and on neutrophils, monocytes, and natural killer cells. So this is important because these guys are the baseline of your immune system. And if they're charged up or ready to go, they're going to be able to detect, to surveil, and attack bad guys. So whether that's bacteria or viruses coming in, or whether that's cells that have gone rogue and are starting to behave erratically. So you want these guys to be working really well to prevent infectious disease as well as to prevent uh, cancer cells from getting out of hand. The other thing is that it also stimulates phagocytosis, or literally in layman's terms, causing the immune system's cells to eat the bad stuff, as well as to release chemicals like nitrous oxide, which helps to destroy invaders and chemicals that can cause harm. So this also helps to bring in more cells to surveil and destroy what's left. And that's important. So if you've got a relatively good sized cancer, uh, sort of mass of cancer cells, if you will, it's important, if one or two have been killed off, for the immune system to continue to come in and keep hammering away at these guys until they're all gone. Now, the other really cool thing is that recent animal studies have shown that beta-glucans have been shown to increase the rate of tumor regression. So, meaning it starts to shrink down and go away by 20%. And the other thing that's interesting is that there is definitely a synergistic effect of multiple mushrooms. And a publication has recently demonstrated that a preparation extracted from Agaricus blazei, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes, from the complete fungus was more anti-mutagenic, meaning it was better at controlling cancer cells than an extraction that contained only the powdered fruiting body. So the whole plant, again, this is so important. And the other thing that's interesting is that certain constituents within Agaricus blazei have been shown to have tumor inhibition ratios ranging from 90.4% to 99.6%. And so that means these particular components are able to inhibit any type of tumor cells really, really strongly. And additionally, in one study, animals that were given Crestin, also called PSK, which is found in turkey tail, had an increased number of neutrophils and a decrease in the size and the number of metastasis or spread of cancer, which is just amazing. So these are amazing results, and thankfully further research is being done because we're starting to see how effective a food can be against cancer without using these toxic substances that are available in chemotherapeutics, and radiation and the whole nine yards. Nobody wants that, but sometimes we need to resort to that for help. Now, let's see if I can get this thing rolling again. So the first mushroom we want to talk about is the reishi mushroom, or Ganoderma, and that's kind of the Latin name of it. And this is one that's very familiar to many of us because it's been talked about and used in folk medicine for centuries, literally. It has immunosupportive properties, and they're also used to support normal blood sugar metabolism and liver health. Again, used in Asia for centuries, it's called lingzhi, and it's always been cultivated because it's really difficult to find enough of this mushroom growing wild to treat the patients that need it. So again, reishi mushrooms are able to kill cancer cells. It is an immunomodulatory, meaning it puts the immune system back on level. So if we think about cancer as being a hypofunction or low function of the immune system, and autoimmune disease as a hyperfunction of the immune system, we bring it back down to the middle to where everything is just chill and working correctly. So it has antioxidant properties and is able to reduce bacterial and viral infections, again, modulating blood sugar and then supporting liver and GI system repair. Chaga, which is something you're probably hearing quite a bit about recently, or Enanthus obliquus, is often a blend of both wildcrafted and cultivated chaga mushrooms. And these guys are outstanding at creating a normal or supporting a normal immune response. And again, part of what we're seeking is modulation or balance, not boosting the immune system and not tamping it back down as we would approach it in the Western medical system. Chaga possesses a variety of polysaccharides, so again, the beta-glucans are polysaccharides, and triterpenoid components. So remember when I was talking about CBD and how terpenes are an important part of how medical marijuana helps to support the system? Again, here's another plant where there is a lot of triterpenoids or terpenes found. These guys have immunosupportive properties and potential activity against cancer cells. So lion's mane, you're also probably hearing a great deal about. It's also called Hericium in them tripling up on the word, sorry, erinaceus. And these may help support people and animals with mild cognitive impairment and support healthy brain function and memory. So they're really cool looking, and you can see why they've got their name, but they also can help support a normal response to stress. So this is super important. Um, the next one is cordyceps mushrooms, and again, they can help to support a normal um, exercise performance, actually improve performance, and help to reduce fatigue. So this is an interesting um, this is an interesting mushroom in and of itself, but these guys are also able to support a healthy immune function. And for people, it can actually help promote sexual health. So it's sort of an adaptogen, if you will, meaning it helps the body adapt to stress and to perform better under a load of stress. Uh, Maitake is, or Griffolia frondosa, mushrooms can, again, support immune function, especially when they are combined with shiitake and reishi mushrooms. Again, within the plant, there can be an entourage effect, and there can also be an entourage effect between, different species of mushrooms. And that whole idea of a synergistic immunomodulating activity has been shown in human macrophages, in particular when combining maitake, shiitake, and reishi mushrooms. Now, shiitake mushrooms are probably, again, one of the better known species to us. We've been seeing these in grocery stores for probably 20 years now. They're also called Lentinula edores, and they may possess, again, immunomodulating properties and potential activity against some types of cancer cells. So several studies have demonstrated the antioxidant properties of shiitakes, and they also may be able to support attacking viruses and microbes, so bacteria. So yes, Hayo's got the dances. So these guys are really awesome. They also can be used to help support healthy blood sugar and lipid metabolism, and normal blood pressure maintenance have been observed in people. And then other potential benefits are support, again, of normal blood sugar and lipids, and then helping to modulate healthy blood pressure within that normal range. So one thing I will say about shiitakes is that if your dog is super reacty to stuff, you probably should consider giving a small amount of fresh, shiitakes or sautéed or boiled, because this is one that can provoke kind of an immune or an allergic reaction in pets. Really, it's more of a histamine response. So if you're concerned at all about, will my dog do okay with a mushroom product, get some of this stuff fresh and test it first before you commit to purchasing something. Now, I've mentioned agaricus several times. This is Agaricus blazei, which has the most sort of medicinal benefit. It's got immunomodulating properties, and again, I've mentioned several times it has several different types of anti-cancer properties as well. It seems to be able to support innate immunity against other infectious disease, and it may help reduce the risk of side effects caused by anti-cancer drugs, and also can support type 2 diabetes. Now, this guy, this agaricus, is Biosporus, and this is the one that you buy at the common grocery store one. They're button mushrooms. They don't have as much of the beta-glucans as Agaricus blazei, but they do have some, and they are also packed with vitamin D and other vitamins and nutrients. So interestingly, in Chinese medicine, these guys, as well as poria and several other types of fungus, are used to help drain damp. So for those pets that have liquidy stool, yeasty, dry skin, or wet skin, things of that nature, this may be something to consider adding. Now, I said yeasty and mushrooms in the same breath, and some of you may think that's a little crazy, but because of their functions of draining damp out and cooling things down, it may be a really great option for your pet. So you could add some, just plain old button mushrooms to your next batch of crock pet diet. And then lastly, this is sort of the best researched mushroom for pets in particular, and this is turkey trail or Trometes versicolor. And it is, it's got over 400 in vitro, so meaning sort of in the petri dish, if you will, and animal studies. And it may have a broad spectrum of immunological, immunomodulating properties. This is something that will also help to support the immune system during radiation and chemotherapy, and it shows a really strong antioxidant capability. I started using turkey tail probably 10 years ago for tumors like hemangiosarcomas, osteosarcomas, things of that nature. And the reason is that the two main compounds believed to be responsible for all those immune system supports and antioxidant effect are PSP, which is polysaccharopeptide, and crestin, or polysaccharide crestin, PSK. And we found this to be such a helpful adjunct for pets that had really profound cancer issues, and especially with those really, really, really hard ones to deal with. So there's another product out there called Immunity, which you may be familiar with, which is just turkey tail. And they do have quite a number of studies showing quite a bit of help in cancer. And it is an extracted product, and it does work, but it is dreadfully expensive. It's something like $100 a month for a dog that's 70 pounds or more. So, as I said, there are tons and tons of products out there, but it's hard to choose what's what. And since we're seeing so many, all right, so many studies saying that there really is a synergistic effect between mushroom species. What I wanted to do is find a product that would produce good effects for your pets, and also offer the most potential bang for your buck, so to speak. And so we've been working very hard with different manufacturers to find products that would be safe for pets, and then also put them in the optimal formulation, so that there is actually enough of the mushroom in there to provide the benefit that we're looking for. And so in doing that, we've been able to develop this product, MycoPaws, which I'm really happy to be able to bring to you. It is, again, a full spectrum blend of 8 mushroom extracts. So we're taking extracts from the entire plant to provide the most impact for your pet's health. And then one serving actually contains 225 milligrams of each of the mushrooms. So again, we're using the whole mushroom to produce these extracts that are going to create some benefits for you. Now, again, we're going after these immune response benefits for the most part, because what we're dealing with in chronic pets is either or chronic pets with chronic disease is either cancer or chronic diseases that essentially end up being autoimmune in nature. So the immune system over responding and attacking a tissue that should be considered healthy. So again, the goal is to help modulate the immune response, but it can also support cardiovascular health, liver health, aid in detoxification, because all of these soluble fibers help to get rid of the evil spirits, so to speak, and get them to pass through the GI tract instead of recirculating in the body. And then also the other big boost is that it helps to support normal blood sugar metabolism. So again, we've got a blend of these, the mushrooms I just mentioned, the reishi, the chaga, the lion's mane, cordyceps, maitake, shiitake, agaricus, and turkey tail. And again, 225 milligrams of each of them, totaling 1,800 milligrams in 2 capsules. So this will help to support healthy immune response, support brain function, support detoxification, and an oral response to stress. I think the lion's mane is going to really be a big help for these pets that we're starting to see early cognitive changes in. You may have seen your older dog that has sort of lost herself in the corner, or you see her walk outside and she's sort of staring at the sky like, what did I come out here to do again? And and also we'll start to see sundowner syndrome in some of these older pets, and that's just no fun for anybody. I've had that experience with a couple of our older dogs, and it's not fun. They're unsure of what's going on, makes them very suspicious of a lot of things and very, very unconfident, and so it's not much fun at all. So that's what I have for you today. If you have questions, I would be happy to answer them. As always, I do remote consultations, and so if that's something you may need help with, I'm happy to do that. We can also answer basic questions for you and help you choose better products. So, and then lastly, since we've just launched this product, we've got a code for 25% off, so you can check that out. And Jamie, great to see you again. Willie is the poster child for a devoted parent looking for all options, and you have done amazing things with him. So if you are concerned about allergies with the current product that you've got, what I would suggest doing is just take them out, see what things happen. Is there less mucusy kind of congestion, less goopy eyes, less gook in their toes, less skin issues? And if those things start to go away after a week or so, what that means is that there is less histamine response. And so stop, to test that theory, stop what you're using currently for a week and see if things get better. And if they do, then that would make me a little suspicious that the mushrooms are a part of what's going on. And if you find that is the case, you can always go back to feeding just the plain old button mushroom, because that's going to provide some of the medical benefits and some of the other health benefits of mushrooms, but this one, it is much, much less likely that he will react to. Now, the other thing I will say is that if you know that your pet has a mold problem, don't give them mushrooms. I have a mold problem. I would love to take this product, but it will just wreak havoc on me, and it's just not worth it. So that's when we have to go for other options to help provide these benefits. So that's been a long, interesting life trying to figure that out. But yeah, if there is any suspicion in your mind that your pet may have a histaminic response to mushrooms in general, and unfortunately shiitake in specific seems to be the most histaminic. Test it with a piece of just plain shiitake and see what happens from there. And that may be what you do is you take the mushroom supplement away for a week, and then at the end of the week feed a small amount of shiitake for 2 or 3 meals, and then wait 72 hours to see if you see any effects. Because again, it can take up to 3 days before the mushroom or any other sort of allergic or systemic effects show up. So that's what I've got for you this week. If you guys have questions, there's just 3 of you here, fire away, and if not, I will bid you adieu. So take good care, and until next time, give your pet a big hug, and remember that your pet's best health really does start in the bowl. Thanks so much. I'm Dr. Ruth Roberts, your pet's ally.